Hey guys, I got a piece of a great news once again. This time, one of my students made a great result. His name is Siddhant Nair. He's from North Virginia. He played Scholastic Chess Championship, and in highest and oldest group, among 60 players in his group, but in total more than 450 players, he tied for first. What I'm about to show you is one of the most beautiful ends you've seen lately for sure. And I can't wait to show you the game and how did he play this one. But before I show you this game, I just want to tell you a little bit more about Siddhant. Siddhant is a hopefully a strong future GM. He's in 10th grade of the high school in North Virginia, and I very much like his style. He knows theory, pretty talented, and likes tactics a lot, which the following game is going to give you the best proof of. Also, his opponent was Domalapati Asa, and she was competitor of Pan American Championship, WFM player, played in World Youth and other international strong tournaments. So this is not a game just like that. Siddhant's rating USEF is around 2050. His opponent's rating of this girl, Woman FM, is around 2060. And this is a high quality game, and what I especially like is the tactical end there. So fasten your seatbelts and let's go. Siddhant in this game was white and he went for d4. His opponent went for knight f6. He played c4, g6, knight c3, and played g3. It's nothing else but fianchetto variation against King's Indian and Grunfeld. It's considered to be one of the strongest and most solid continuations by white against these two Indian systems. After castles, bishop g2, d6, knight f3, here black has so many options. For example, I very much like a classic approach that Bronstein and other guys, Gligorich, used to play, knight bd7 followed by e5. Almost all typical King's Indian players like to go with this traditional plan. Then you have early knight c6 followed by a6 or modern approach with e5. In this game, we've seen knight c6 and Zagreb variation. Apart from that, you also have guys who will play c6 followed by queen a5, or a Richard Rappert like c6 followed by interesting queen b6 and queen a6 and break with b5, and so many other options. Just like I told you, his opponent went for knight c6, Siddhant went for short castle, and black went for a6. An idea of Zagreb variation is to go with rook b8 and b5, breaking and hoping for some activity on the queen side. Here, Siddhant went for queen to d3. But apart from this move, which ideas I'm about to show you, I just want to tell you that after this game we analyzed it, and we both agreed. I pointed out that lately bishop f4 performs just better because it's aimed against e5, and currently it poses the biggest problems to black players. Siddhant went for Avrak's approach from his Grandmaster repertoire against the Indian systems, here against the King's Indian and Grunfeld with queen to d3. And queen d3 has two basic ideas: to prevent bishop f5 and to prevent b5 by black. That's quite an interesting move. Also, at some point, it's going to support some e4 with faster and better control of the center. Domalapati went for rook b8, Siddhant played d5, and here black has two main options, but his opponent went for knight a7. I've seen this interesting but seemingly passive move by Nakamura in one of his games against Aronian. An idea is to play c5 and afterwards to break on the queen side with b5. So basically, knight on a7 is going to help and support b5 breaks on the queen side. Siddhant went for a4 to prevent b5, and black went for c5. He went for a4, building up a strong center. black played queen c7. Not the best move as far as I'm concerned, because after he played bishop f4, all of a sudden he threatens a pretty annoying e5 breaking in the center. Black went for knight h5, moving this bishop away with tempo, and he moved the bishop back now, but at the same time black was left with two knights on the rim of the board, knight on h5 and knight on a7. And probably black put all his hopes into the next move b5, because as far as I'm concerned, when black players in Benoni play b5, actually it's usually used to be concerned like that. They made a b5 and they should be, let's just say, at least fine. That's the old rule of old Benoni players, but here Siddhant came up with a very creative move. That's what I like about this game, his creative approach with b3 that is absolutely fascinating, because player on this level usually want sack and exchange just like that. It shows his good understanding and also even better feeling for creating an initiative and tactics afterwards in the game. Black went for b4, knight e2, captured the rook on a1, and Siddhant recaptured by rook. So let's stop for a moment and see what kind of, let's just say, pros he's got in this position. Well, he's got a bishop pair, definitely better control of the center, while black at the same time has both of these knights on the edge of the board, pretty passive rook on b8, and lots of problems on the dark squares. I'm talking about g7, f6, and h6, which basically makes even this king on g8 being fully weak. The Malapati went for e6, and Siddhant played knight d2. After, in post-mortem analysis of this game, we both agreed that the better move was e5. e5 because he would break into the center and the dark squares, kind of create like better weaknesses, and also passed pawn on the d5, and if captures, d6 afterwards. It's a nice one, but the major idea behind e5 is that he just wants to go with a better opening of the game, which is definitely going to give his bishops more of activity. He went for knight e2, which is also not bad, because he wanted to capture by c-pawn and, in a traditional d4 fashion, bring this knight into the center and then c4. After f5, played rook c1, going for some x-rays against the queen. Queen e7, and once again he played e takes f5, which is okay. But it's a pity that he missed this e5 move, breaking on the dark square. So after queen e5, knight c4, there is a very nice tactics here. Knight d6, bishop c5, taking on f8. And who would say that in a game like this, where white is down a piece, white is completely winning? So no, white doesn't have a compensation. White is completely winning. But what does it give you, like a special, let's just say, feeling for this kind of a game? Both of these knights are misplaced. Bishop on c8 inactive, rook on b8 hits the wall by hitting that pawn on b4. King on f8 is weak, and basically with the queen being placed in the center and rook on c1, white just has a lot better game. So after e takes f5, bishop f5, he captured by queen on a6. And get yourself ready for something really beautiful, because here, believe it or not, this queen on a6 decided the game. Black went for knight c8. He put a rook on e1, going after the queen and slowly raising his initiative. After knight b6, played knight to c1. He's happy to bring his knight back into the center of the board and play knight to d3. Black went for knight f6, played knight c4, and I would especially like to emphasize an importance of this moment of the game, because this was the only moment of the game where black had a chance to do something with this game. She was supposed to take on c4, and she would have a fine position, because after knight g4 she'd be able to get rid of the bishop pair, and by removing the dark square bishop because it's pinned, probably white's compensation simply is about to fade away. Although she didn't go for that and took by f knight on d5. Get ready. In 10 moves you're just going to see a razor mating attack by white. So let's go. For all of you who would like to practice how to raise initiative, pause the video and try to find forcing a line or forcing sequence of moves where white just gets a great attacking chances. Siddhant went for knight takes b6, and right now he threatens to take this knight on d5. Black had to recapture and played a5. By kicking this knight away from b6, it basically opens up d5 square for the check afterwards. So after a5, black went for knight d7, Siddhant went for bishop d5 check, king h8, and everything in white's game was about the dark square bishop, dark squares, and diagonal a1, h8. From another point of view, I'm pretty sure that black put all his hopes into the knight e5 move, especially considering the fact that a bishop on d4 was hanging at this moment, and black had to lose this tempo once again by retreating the bishop on a1. But I want to tell you one thing. With two bishops like this, with a rook on the e file, threat of f4, king on h8, this certainly, even if this game didn't end in the following fashion, this looks like a great compensation for white. And for example, this just shows like a human part of this game, and that's what I like about this game a lot. Maybe it's not like according to the engine analysis perfect, but it just shows how sometimes it's way better to play active and aggressive, and your opponents won't know how to defend themselves properly. Here, black had to play the only move, which after knight d3 gives white a great attacking prospects, and here black would be in serious problems. Unfortunately for black, but fortunately for us, because we're about to see a beautiful end of the game, black went for queen f6. And his opponent started to eye pawn on f2 as potential weakness. Siddhant begins with his attack. Are you ready? Rook takes e5. Take a look at this one. You can't capture because he would have captured, play bishop takes e5 and threaten mate. And after rook f8 to defend and to remove the bishop, play a6. Afterwards, you will take on f6, push and promote this pawn, and he'd be up a piece and he'd be winning. After rook takes e5, Domalapati went for bishop g4. She also wants to take on f2 and to do, let's just say, her last attempts on fighting for something tricky in this game. He was on top of his task, played f4. So you can't take because bishop e5 would just take the queen. Also queen f6, bishop e5, and black played g5. I would say that was more like desperate attempt to solve the problems in the game, and you're just about to see how my students play. So get ready for an amazing tactical move. Pause the video and try to find it. Well, did you find it? Queen takes d6. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? This just shows great connectivity of two bishops and rook, and so many nice mating patterns are about to be seen here. So if queen takes d6, he would have gone with rook e8 check, and after queen e5, boom, bishop takes e5 with this nice mating pattern. After queen d6, what a nice spectacular queen sacrifice, black went for queen g7. It's a nice one because you can't move the rook because bishop on a1 is either strongest or just a weak piece. But the point is, he went for queen e7. He keeps on making lots of threats and once again threatens something very nasty. If queen takes e7, rook e7, rook f6, bishop f6 would be absolutely the same mating pattern as we've seen previously. Black went for g takes f4. And once again, can you find another brilliant move by white? Rook h5. Opens up the bishop on a1, shows its full potential. And when black went for queen takes a1, he took on h7 and won the game. I hope that you enjoyed in this game. Hopefully Siddhant is going to be another and future strong GM. I can proudly say that in this Scholastic Chess Championship, I had two of my students being there. Siddhant, who tied for first, and Arush, who tied 5th place. So congratulations, guys, and hopefully you enjoyed this game, and I wish these guys, and actually all my students, lots of success in the future. Also, let's just hope that you're going to be able to apply some of the ideas of this fianchetto lines against the King's Indians. And this was a very nice game. Once again, congratulations, Siddhant, and wish you all the best in the future. Subscribe, and of course, sometimes donate. Thank you so much, and see ya, guys. Bye-bye.